let me get back to you. Every one of them said the same thing. No one was excited. I can't even believe it. I'm presenting a multi-billion-dollar idea to you, and you're just like, let me get back to you?
It's the podcast with a prodigy. It's the podcast with a prodigy. It's the podcast with a prodigy. My podcast.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Prodigy. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast with Prodigy. Today we got former record label, CEO of What's Good Entertainment, and music producer to be exact, Flossy the boss on the show today.
What's good, Prodigy? Thank you for having me.
Chilling, of course. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, blessed, and highly favored. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, you know. Average day, just working.
Oh, yeah? What's your day like?
Just work, quick, like little 9 to 5 job, but more like 5 to 1:30, 8 hours, put your 8 hours in.
So you have this crazy ass podcast and you're blowing up and you still got to get your grind in?
Yeah, this ain't paying the bills just yet, but it will be soon.
So what would you say to people like they're trying to do something like similar to what you're doing, but you still got to make money? Like you don't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to make a rap song and blow up overnight. What do you suggest to those people?
Like the people that...
Should you quit your day job and just go, fuck it, I'm going hardcore in the music. I'm going to go all the way.
Not at first. Because you have to have a foundation, to build off of what you want to make your career off of, what you want to like do, what you love and stuff like that. But it's not free, you gotta pay for stuff in order to make that dream come true. So, right. You gotta have a hustle, and once you have enough money, you gotta, like take that risk. Once you have enough knowledge, intelligence, and stuff like that, take that risk. And then if it doesn't work, hey, just go get another job, restart, try it again.
A lot of people go through that. That's a decision. A lot of people, they always like, hey, I want to do music. I want to go get into this. And they quit their job and they go in the studio for 3 months and they realize, damn, I got bills to pay.
Well, I think it could go both ways. If you do that, quit your job and then try to like take it full time, like it gives you no choice but to like work on what you want to do, what you want to be, and forces you to really make it. So I think it goes both ways, but I do think you need to have like a side hustle at all times in order to pay for stuff when your stuff you're working on isn't doing that.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree. It's crazy.
Yeah. But first, I want to have people learn a little bit about Flossy the boss before he was Flossy the boss. So I want you to tell me like a little bit about your family and growing up as a kid.
Well, I was born in Newport Beach, California. Come from a family of 10, broke-ass family. Super broke, super poor. I know people talk about how, they went through the struggle. We were actually really, really poor. We had no money. We lived at one point, we lived in a 45-foot trailer with, at the time, 7 kids. Mom, dad, and 7 kids. And by the way, like some people I think Eminem lived in a trailer park in Detroit, but he lived in a park. You know what I'm saying? We lived in the middle of nowhere in a trailer, meaning we had to go to a well. We had to get these 55-gallon drum barrels, take the car, put it on a trailer, go get these barrels, and go to a well at the top of the hill in the middle of nowhere and pump the well, fill the barrel up with 55 gallons of water, and bring it back down. And you put the way it works is gravity. You put the barrel of water higher than your trailer, and you got a garden hose. You bring it back and it plugs, you basically put it into the sink of your trailer and you suck it in and the water comes through. And then that's how you have running water. And so we had to do that as kids. Like that's what we had to do. And so the crappy part was when it snowed, the shit froze up. So you had to go and like heat up the hose, little rubber hose, and then, get it running again. But that's how we grew up. We grew up in the city. We moved all around because the parents couldn't pay the rent, constantly got eviction notice, got the boot. At one point, we lived in a car. And then my mom was divorced with my dad at an early age. So I didn't really know much about my dad till later. I just saw him on weekends every now and then. Mm-hmm. But we moved from one place to the others as we got evicted. And then my mom got remarried, moved to Santa Ana, and that's where we were introduced to the gang life. At the time, Santa Ana had a gang called F Troop. And so that was the gang in that area. That was way back when. But ultimately, so we hung around a lot of gangsters and we learned a lot of bad shit at that time, like stealing, robbing, shooting guns. First time, I think I was third grade. First time I shot a 38 pistols. I was third grade. So, but we learned a lot about the gang activities at that time, and because we were getting in a lot of trouble, Ethan's dad, my younger brother, we were like little criminals. We did everything bad. Like when my mom remarried my stepdad at the time, somebody I don't care for this day, I just don't have any communication with. When we first found out, literally when we first found out she was getting married, we actually, my older brother Tracy cried. He was like, what? She said she was getting married. He cried. And so we moved into his house in Santa Ana. I think it was second week or third week, within the first month, we went down, we found some people in the neighborhood. We went down to the high school, I think it was called Valley View or something in Santa Ana. And we broke every single window in that high school. Hang on one second. Put this on airplane mode. I forgot about that thing. You should compose. Let's see, airplane mode. So in Santa Ana, we moved in, we went down the street, and at the time, high schools had their entire face would be glass windows. You could look out, daydream like you see in the movies. Well, we decided we're going to break every single window in that school during the summer. And so, sure enough, we're breaking all the windows, throwing rocks at it, and then me and Tyler, my younger brother, we were like, hey, let's play a trick on these guys. We had two other people with us. Let's play a trick on these guys. We're going to sneak up behind them and scare them like we're the police. So we were hiding in some bushes while they were what was happening is we were breaking windows, sticking our hand inside where the desks were, and grabbing all the papers from the teacher's desk and throwing them all over the room through the window. Just tearing apart the place for no stupid reason. And so we were like, him and I were behind these bushes creeping up on them like we're going to go, freeze, police. But next thing you know, two police officers come up with their guns out. Freeze, police. We were behind the bushes, him and I. We see them like, don't move, screaming at these guys. Get your hands against the wall. All that stuff was going on. Him and I looked at each other like, oh, man. So we started backing out slowly out of the bushes. And pretty big area. So we knew that if these cops see us, it's a wrap. We're busted too. We're going to jail. And so sure enough, I go, we got to run. And so he's like, you going to run first? I said, I'm going to run first. And then you run as they chase me. You run the other direction. So sure enough, I take off running. The other guy goes, freeze. And I just started sprinting as fast as I could. Cops chased me all through the high school. I got to a fence that was about maybe 6 to 8 feet tall. And the fence had like, people bend the fence. Yeah. Where the lock was, it was bent. Well, I was a little kid. So I just crawled through that fence and the cop couldn't get through it. So he had to scale this 8-foot fence. He jumped it and I got ahead of him. Meanwhile, I run all the way out to the outside of the high school. As I get to the outside of the high school, there's Tyler. He's like, what are you doing? I go, they're still after me, run. So him and I are running, like full sprint. We're running. And then next thing you know, a cop pulls up next to us, like literally in a car. Hey, pull over. Like we're running. We're like, damn. So we actually go down an alley. I jump underneath a car. And Tyler did too. We were both under the same car, just sitting there because we thought we ditched him. But sure enough, we see the car coming around, slowing down. So we get up, we start running again. And then literally as I'm running, somebody grabs me and Tyler behind the back, we were little kids, and lifts us up. Let's go, buddy. They lifted us up and grabbed us. They handcuff us. They take us to a house down the end of the block where they caught the other two guys. They handcuff us with our cuffs in front. We're sitting on a curve. And my stepdad was coming back from the grocery store in a Honda Civic, like a little tiny 2-door Honda Civic, old school, like a little car. It looked like a clown car. He pulls up, backed up. What are you guys doing? We're all busted. So that was the introduction to him understanding what kind of kids we were. And it cost at that time $1,500 or $1,600 for our part to cover the cost of those windows.
Oh my God.
Now keep in mind, this is imagine paying $1,600 now. That was back, I don't know, shit, it had been like 70s, 78, 79. So that was his introduction. And the kid and this dude was a mean stepdad. He's a horrible stepdad.
So before you moved into that house, were you guys already like that, like making trouble like that?
Yeah, my mom was a bartender. So she worked a graveyard shift. So she worked late at night until early in the morning and slept all day. We were the kids that everybody hated in the neighborhood. We were the kids that terrorized the neighborhood. We did everything bad. And when we would walk down the street, there was the police knew our name. So a cop would roll up on a motorcycle and say, "Get against the wall," and make us empty our pockets and usually find somebody had stolen something from a store. So we would regularly go down to the store and steal from the store. We would regularly do that. So we were those neighbors that everybody hated in the block. Not proud of that, but that's just how we live. We didn't have no money, so it was like we had to get it. However, we had to get it. So we did all day, every day. Like, in fact, we had a feud with our neighbors at one time. And we were, literally breaking their windows, and like our next door neighbor, putting butter on, just doing horrible things to our next door neighbor. And literally we hated each other. That was like murder. So we hung out with other bad kids in the neighborhood too. It was not like we were the only ones. There were other bad kids that did bad things that clicked up with us because we had the mom that they just let us do whatever we wanted because she wasn't around.
Yeah.
We'd literally go wake her up. "Oh, the police are here." It's like, "What's going on?" "I don't know. The police are here." So she would wake up from sleeping after working all night and have to deal with it. And she was always great mom, positive, just like, "Hey, what's going on?" Just didn't know because we were crazy kids on the roof throwing shit at people, those type of kids. But there was a time that I think it was the last time I broke the law in that city was there were the twins we ended up hanging out with. They were my age, Tyler and I. My younger brother, we hung out with them. They were our best friends. We were hanging out underneath a pine tree that happened to be attached to an apartment complex. For some reason, we decided we're going to opened up newspapers and light them on fire. And so we're in a pine tree. I was actually in the pine tree. So they were lighting these newspaper sheets on fire. One of them, just the whole paper just rose up because it was on fire and lit up, just lifted up in the air like a kite. And just, boom, it caught onto the tree. It's a pine tree. Pine trees are super flammable. That tree just took up like a matchstick. And I jumped out of the tree like, "Oh, my God." And the whole thing was on fire. And so we run out from under the tree. It's a big-ass tree attached to an apartment complex. So we run out like, "Oh, my God." A car rolls up. And the dude gets out and says, "I'm a volunteer firefighter." And he opens his trunk, pulls out a fire extinguisher. We turn around, this tree's just crazy at fire, just blowing up. And I'm like, "Oh, damn." And they go, I just looked at them and I go, "Okay, cool." So I just started running. Like right when he said that, I saw the tree, I ran. And so did Tyler. He ran right behind me. I just took off sprinting because I knew the cops were coming. And sure enough, we get back to our house was like maybe 5 blocks away. We get under the covers. As we're kids, we're scared to death. Like, "Oh my God." And next thing you know, everybody's like, "Hey, there's a big fire down the street. The apartment complex is on fire." We're like, "No way." I'm like, "That's cool. We don't want to go see it." What kind of kid's not going to want to go see that? So we're like, "Yeah, that's all good. We don't care. I want to watch TV." So sure enough, the whole household's like, "We got to go see what's going on. It's so-and-so's apartment's on fire." So they kind of forced us to get up to go check out this fire. So as we're walking down this fire, the twins were handcuffed on the side. As we're walking by, I'm like, "They were with us." And the cop goes, "Shut up, kid. You're already in enough trouble." So we just kept walking like, "Doop-a-doop-a-doo." We walked by. And as it turns out, because they were bad kids too, and they ended up getting taken from their parents for being such bad kids that they felt that the parents weren't able to watch them, so they took them away. They went to foster homes. So that's the type of childhood we grew up in, like where the city decided these kids shouldn't even be with their parents. That's how bad they were. So unfortunately, that was the life we grew up in. And so when we moved to Santa Ana with the stepdad, we definitely got in a lot of trouble, but it was short-lived because my stepdad had an idea that, "Hey, I'm going to move to Riverside." Riverside's super country at the time, like in the middle of nowhere, horse country. And so we moved out there with them. We actually lived in a kind of a normal house. To us, it was like a mansion because we've been living in ghetto-ass spots the whole time. Mm-hmm. Normal house with like a farm. Like it had 5 acres, country-ass life. And that's kind of how we went through the rest of our elementary school, junior high.
Wait, so you guys lit the tree on fire, got chased by the cops, and broke all these windows before even high school?
This was like during elementary school. Yeah, this is during
God.
elementary school. We had already been robbing people, and we robbed houses too at the time. We would break into people's houses and rob their safes, take their money.
Like at like 10, 12 years old?
I think I would have been in 3rd or 4th grade at the time.
Oh my God.
At that time. People would say, hey, so-and-so's got a safe. Like, no way, can we get in there? And we go get their money. So we did that very early. So I think the end of 3rd grade or 4th grade, I was in Santa Ana, went there, dealt with all that stuff. We moved to Riverside. And in Riverside, the houses were separated. We lived in this like farm life type environment. So imagine us going from the street environment to country. So when we go there, like we're used to fighting already at an early age. So when we're in 5th, 6th, I think it was 5th or 6th grade I went over there, 5th or 6th. I'm already beating everybody up at school. I'm already just throwing hands and just going to work just because that's what we're used to. It's like nobody, like plus there's 10 of us. So if one of us get our asses beat, we're all rolling up and going to see everybody else. This shit's going to get handled. In fact, there was a time, my younger brother, Tyler, in Santa Ana, he was walking home from school. We were white in a predominantly Latin community, Chicano, Mexican, whatever. And so he went to a different school than I did because he's a little younger. So while I was in school, he came over and he goes, hey, man, this is the 2nd time these guys jumped me and beat me up. I go, really? So, all right, cool. Tomorrow, I'm going to pick you up from school, and I'm going to walk you home. And so there were twins that beat him up, 2 dudes. So I pick him up. I walk him home. The first time, he tells me, come do this. Dude rolls up on a bike, start yelling at me, hey, man, what's up? What's up? I go, you tell me, what's up? And so I'm thinking Tyler's going to fight with me. So I'm like, hey, this dude's going to fight with me. Tyler was like about 1 foot shorter than me the whole time. Even though he was younger than me, he was 1 foot shorter than me. So I go over there and I start talking trash to the dude. He gets off his bike, throws his bike down. We start fighting. His twin brother rolls up. We start fighting each other. Tyler's not even fighting. He just backs up watching us fight. I was a good fighter. So I'm sitting there fighting. And at one point, a dude was choking me from behind. I'm on my knees in the grass. The other dude's about to kick me in the face. Like I'm on my knees. And his brother's about to run up and kick me in the face. Tyler's still doing nothing. Just sitting there on the grass like, come on, you can do it. So the guy has me on a chokehold, choking me, and his brother's about to kick me in the face. I grab his brother, I flip him, and he landed on his back in the street, and the skin ripped off his elbow all the way off. Started crying like a little bitch, screaming. And so his brother runs up, look what you did to my brother. And so just then, when you know it, his parents roll up, what are you doing? He's all bloody. They're telling him I beat them up. Like, they're the same age as me. It's not like, a big dude beating them up. We're all the same age. The parents put us in the back of the car, me and Tyler. We go to their house, and they're wanting me to apologize to the kids. And I'm like going, hell no, I'm not apologizing to nobody. And it ended up being where the parents were telling us, we got to fight, a fair fight, the kids and me. And I go, okay, but the kid was too scared to fight, the one that got ripped up. So they didn't want to fight. So then I go back home. I tell my older brother, keep in mind, my oldest brother's 7 years older than me. Tell him what happened. We're going to go back and fuck up the whole family. And I go, oh, no, it's all good. I don't want to fight no more. I'm good today. I'm done. That's it. It's a wrap. That's enough. So yeah, our whole life was chaos. It's been nothing but chaos. And so when we moved to Riverside, it just continued. And we were just broke in a country area. Like literally we walked like you hear these old people talking about, walked 5 miles. We literally walked 5 miles to school. And the reason why is because we couldn't afford the bus. At the time, it was the year the bus system just started charging people, the families. If you want to take the bus, you got to pay a fee. Small fee. It's probably, it could have been $2. I don't even know. But for us, it was way too much. And my stepdad, being the kind of guy he wasn't going to pay nothing. So sure enough, we walked to and from school. It took us about an hour and a half to get to school, hour and a half to get back. Walking early in the morning. And we played around on the way too, like trudging through mud and stuff, just a mess when we got to school. And by the way, we had animals. So we had cows, horses. So guess what? We had to milk a cow before school. So not only did we go to school, but we smelled like cow shit. We had flakes of hay in her hair. Just looked a wreck. So I was, I was picked on or bullied because I looked like a total geek. I didn't have cool clothes. I literally wore the clothes from my brother from the previous year. And Tracy, they would tell me like, your brother wore that last year. And I go, so? Because he did. What am I going to say? So? My attitude was like, so what? Then what? What are you going to do? So, of course, what happens when you do that? You get in fights. So I fought in junior high as well. And in junior high, I got suspended in my 7th grade year because I was in metal shop making a tie class for my dad on the little buffer. And, of course, you guys might notice my ears stick out. People say that all the time. Hey, look at those ears. Of course, being poor and not cool at the time, they said, dude, they made fun of me about my ears. All the cool kids are in that class with me. By some chance, I got the cool kids. So the dude comes and slaps me in the back of my head with, I got the little welder's helmet on, the one that flips down.
Yeah.
Dude smacked me so hard. He smacked my ear. Like, bleep, smacked this dude's ear. My helmet fell off, everything. Whole class started laughing. So I got up with my fluorescent red tie class in a little thing that I was buffering it because it lights up like a fucking matchstick.
Yeah.
It was on fire. It was like fluorescent red. I kicked the dude to the ground and put it on his neck. So he got my initials, TMH, in his neck. So I got suspended from school in 7th grade, and I had to see a psychologist because they said they were concerned about me.
Wait, how long did nobody did anything to help the kid? Like, how long does it take to write TMH in a person's neck?
2 seconds. The thing was like a branding iron, like a cow. When you brand a cow, it's just psst. It's that quick.
You just had your initials already on it?
I have my initials. Basically, a tie clasp is like a little metal thing that goes like that. It's copper, actually. I think it was copper. So it's a little metal clasp like that. Has my initials, TMH. And so that thing was like that thing right there. Lit up bright because it was already so hot. So when he did that, I kicked him and I just put it on his neck.
Oh my
God. Right on his neck. Ugh. Like, that's what you get. And so everybody wrestled me to the ground like I'm the bad guy. Not realizing, hey, this dude slapped me. So I had to go see a psychologist because they thought I had issues. Well, they're not talking about the guy who attacked me. Like, you can't be mad about my reaction. This dude attacked me. This is self-defense in my head. So, of course, I got suspended. And a couple other times I got suspended too. And I was a nerd. I'm not going to lie. I was a nerd in junior high. I had one best friend. He was the other nerd in junior high. We're 2 losers in junior high. But the difference was I'll kill you. Like, I'm a nerd, but I will kill you. So that was my mentality. But I wasn't trying to think I was going to be somebody cool. I wasn't trying to be somebody cool, just trying to survive. I'm broke, trying to survive. I even sold, in the morning, I sold cookies. I worked a little cookie stand and the juice stand. I sold cookies and juice so I could make extra money. I got the free lunch, everything. I was cool. I was like, I'm good, man. I got free cookies and chocolate milk in the morning, got free lunch. I'm straight.
Wait, so you were the nerd, the loser, but did the people knew you could fight, right? Like the people
when they'd see me kick someone's ass, then they knew. Like, oh shit, I don't know about this dude. But keep in mind, if you got that one geeky dude who looks like a loser, he's got all the worst clothes, like whatever worst clothes you could possibly imagine, like this not in fashion, old, not even like it's not even that they're not in fashion, they're not even new. So when you start the school year, usually kids have all their fresh gear.
Yeah,
I had all old gear from last year that I'm not even talking that was new at one point. It was never even new before then. I'm just rocking, I'm talking about plaid shit with a checkered shirt, just stuff that did not look good at all. No name brands whatsoever. And I think I told you back in the days about, back when I was younger, Kmart sold a shoe brand called Trax, Traxx, Trax. All you older cats out there, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Trax. If you're my age, you know. So I guess it would be considered like Pro Keds if they still sell those right now. Pro Keds. But Trax was the worst. Everybody made fun. Oh man, what you got? You rocking the Trax?
It's like wearing Skechers almost like.
No, Skechers would be a elevation from that.
Well, but for kids nowadays,
what's the lowest brand of shoe if you went to like Walmart or Kmart, what do you kind of shoe brand? What's the brand?
I don't know. Just the
whatever.
Brand,
if you went to Walmart, whatever, there's a brand, that's the brand I had. Or Kmart, that's the brand I had. But everybody at school knew because there wasn't a whole bunch of options. So it was like, if you knew you were rocking the cheap shoes, they said you're wearing tracks, and everybody would make fun of you. Like, oh man, you got if somebody was snapping on you or making fun of you, they'd say, you got track shoes. They're making fun of you, right? And you'd be embarrassed. Well, when I was younger, Kmart put the name on the bottom of the shoe. So when you walked in the dirt, it said tracks, tracks, tracks. So when you walk, you can't even deny that you're wearing tracks because they don't say them on the side. They purposely got rid of the logo on the side so people wouldn't be embarrassed about buying them, but they put it on the bottom. So now I got to walk and erase my tracks. Literally got to erase them with the leaf. Like, oh my God, if people see me playing in the sand like that, it's over. So I was wearing clothes like that. Like people, and his thing, like, I just like, whatever, this is what it is. Like, if you grew up poor like that, and a lot of people know if you're from the hood, this is what it is. At one point, you get to the point like, so I'm broke. What now? What? If you ruin everybody's hustle, you know, the way they're going to pick on you, harass you because you just tell them I'm broke, they ain't got nothing to say. That's right. I'm broke. I'm poor. I'm a loser. Now what? Then they don't even know how to make fun of you. And I got big ears. Now what? So, but the difference was like, if you push me too hard, I'm going to fight you. And then it's going to be a wrap because I was fighting. So, but yeah, my life wasn't the most exciting in the sense of all the way to high school. It was chaos, like battling people, trying to get by. And then, the Riverside house. No, Westminster. Yes. So Ethan brought up a good point. So my mom finally got her shit together, and I think I was in. All this stuff happened like in third grade. A lot of transitions just before she got remarried. She got it together. We moved to what would be considered like nice, decent neighborhood in Westminster, California. We're going to school. And one day, everything seemed great. It seemed like we're finally on our way to be like a normal family. Single mom, normal family. Everybody's looking okay. Money's not so, we're still broke. But at least we got a fresh pair of tennis shoes for the new school year. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like everything's going good as a kid. Next thing you know, Mr. Harrelson, can you please come to the front office? So I get a call, come see the principal. So I go to see the principal thinking like, what did I do? Did I get caught doing something? Because we were still bad kids. Like we were the type of people that we would go to Lost and Found and say everything in there is something we lost because we didn't have shit. So we're like, that's mine. I lost it because we needed shit. So I'm thinking like, what did we get in trouble for? Because there's chances are we probably did something wrong. But then I see my brother, my older brother, 1 year older than me. He comes in there. And I see my younger brother, Tyler. He comes in there. We're all looking at each other. What did you do wrong? We're all saying to each other, what did you do wrong? No joke. This is what we're saying. I don't know. The principal comes out and says, hey, you need to come get in my car. We're like, oh, shit, we're going to jail. This is a wrap. We're going to youth authority. So he takes us around the corner. We're about 2 blocks from the school. And we see all these ambulances, fire trucks, chaos in our neighborhood. We're like, what's going on? They go, we're going to tell you in a minute. So we get in there, we see my mom, your grandma, in the back of an ambulance. She was on a big cast, her arm was all wrapped up and everything. She tore her arm apart. Our house burnt down, caught on fire and burnt down to the ground. And in the process, my younger brother, Anthony, was in one of the rooms and they couldn't save him. So luckily, an off-duty fire man ran into it. My mom tried to save him, but he couldn't. She busted open the room had a sliding glass door. She busted open the door, but when in fire, it expands everything. So the glass blew out, cut her arm open super bad. She had to get like 70-something stitches in her arm. Ew. She couldn't go back in. The room was all on fire. And Travis, your uncle, tried to go in there to save him. Wasn't able to get in there. It was just the flames and everything were coming too hard. So off-duty fire man sees the fire, comes over, runs in, goes through the glass door, grabs my brother, and brings him out. Fortunately, he was wrapped in, at those times, they made fireproof baby blankets, fire retardant or resistance. And it saved him, but he did get burn from his knee on down to his ankle. Still to this day has a burn. Burnt the front half of his leg. burned it up like a little chicken wing. And so, so he did get burnt up. But yeah, so that was part of the reason why inevitably my mom ended up meeting my stepdad, because we moved in when we had our shit together with his brother at the time. And all of us, the entire family, shared one bedroom.
What?
Yes. The entire family shared a bedroom in my stepdad's brother's house. Not then, at the time was my stepdad, but we shared a room in one house. So that was the chaos that we lived in every day. So, but ultimately, yeah, as a kid though, you're thinking it's fun. Like it's like a big party all the time. Yeah. Everything's fun. Like, hey, it's cool. No big deal, whatever. But as you grow up and people start telling you you're poor and you're a loser and look at you, you live in one bedroom. You're like, damn, are we losers? I thought it was fun. I thought it was like a slumber party. What are you talking about? Everybody here's having a good time. We're having pillow fights at night. What are you talking about? But when the neighbors start and the people start telling you like, dude, you're a loser. You're like, damn, are we losers? We might be losers. So yeah, that was a little chaotic, but fun. And till we got to high school, and then it became like, in high school, you know how high school is. Everyone's like, you got to really step your game up in high school. And so I went to high school, and I decided at that time, instead of fighting everybody that made fun of me, I would be a joker. So I started becoming like a comedian. So I started getting really good at snapping on people. Like just instead of me punching them in the face, I'd just say something super funny, and everyone would start laughing at him. But I will tell you, my first day of high school, because I had to learn this as I went, because I didn't understand. I came from an area that we always fought no matter what. So my first day of high school, I go to school, and in my area, just by chance, where we lived was really crazy because we had to go to a high school that was really far from our area. But in our area, because there were a lot of farms and ranches, my friends and everything I hung out with, their families were considered rich. So when we went to school, they were the popular dudes, my close homies. They're rich. I wasn't. So everybody looked at them like they're cool. So I was friends with older people that had already gone to the high school. So I went there. I already knew the star football players. They were like my neighbors. Yeah. So I'd go over there, and they had an area called Studwall. I don't know nothing about high school. I'm not even cool at all. I'm cool with these guys in the country, but going to high school, I don't know anything. So I go over there, and I'm hanging out with them on what's called Studwall. I don't know anything about this school at all. The studs hang out there, right? The cool guys. So I go over there, and I'm talking to one of my friends, and some dude comes up and goes, hey, bro, you're a freshman. You can't be on this wall. I just look back, I'm like, anyways, just keep talking. I have the backpack on. I'm such a nerd. I got the backpack on with both straps on. Yeah. You don't do that. Usually got one strap off. The cool guy. I don't know this shit. I got both straps on. It's like, yeah, so anyways, just hanging out, talking to him before the school starts. The first class of school. Dude goes, hey, man, you got to leave. No one's saying anything. I'm like, dude, shut the hell up, man. Whatever. Dude grabs, you know how they have the hook on the back of the backpack? Yeah. Dude grabbed it and pulled me back like a parachute does. So, fell on my back, hit my head. I got up and beat the shit out of that dude. He was a senior. I beat him up so bad that the security came and handcuffed me because I was just punching him in the face, screaming at him. Just boom, boom. So I got suspended the first day of school. And so from that day, though, everyone said I was a crazy guy. That guy's crazy. I'm like, oh, this dude tried to fight me. Like, what's up? You know what it was? He was holding his face like that. And I went to go kick him in the face. Everybody went. I heard everybody go, oh, like, all right, because he bent over and he was on the ground. I went one more kick, and then I got arrested. I was like, all right, it's a wrap. So, but after that, I decided I was going to be a good kid because I got the lecture from the police, all that stuff, and started just making fun of people instead of fighting them. And that helped out a lot because saved a lot of headache.
Yeah, imagine.
You start beating people up just for everything, it just becomes a problem. So.
That's just crazy. All that happened before you're even like an adult, before you're even like a teenager.
16 years old. By 16, already total chaos. Your life's disheveled.
So once you made it to high school and you stopped doing all the fighting and stuff like that, did you ever get into like any like sports, clubs, any
because
activities?
What's crazy about all this chaos, I actually love school. I actually loved math. I was like the number one math kid. I literally was a nerdy dude, and I was great at school, and I loved it. And I still do. I love math. I love numbers. So I was excellent in school. I was a straight A student in high school the whole time. And during high school, probably the best thing that's ever happened to me was I got in a program called the Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC.
Yeah.
ROTC. And a lot of people look at that like they're nerds, this and that. And by the way, I played football. I was a wide receiver in football, hanging out with some of the coolest guys every day. And so, and I played varsity. I played all through my high school. But the crazy thing is that in ROTC, the quarterback and myself in high school, we both started at the same time. And we were both good friends. And he was the most popular guy in high school. And by proxy, because I'm near him, I become a cool guy. All the girls like me, everybody. He's cool. I'm still broke. I ain't got no money. Nothing's good's going on in my life, but my school is good, and that was good. And I became, through this program, I learned the whole discipline, understanding like the chain of command, how not to kill somebody if they say something bad to you. You don't have to kill them. You got to be smarter than that. And I also learned how to speak in front of people, because the first year they do what's called public speaking. And you have to do a 5-minute speech. And that decides whether you're going to be get your first stripe. During that time, my family moved from Riverside to an area in the middle of nowhere, into that trailer I was talking about.
Yeah.
45-foot trailer. During this time, my mom was pregnant. She moves my brother and I with 4 other kids. I go out to this trailer on the mountains with nothing, just in the middle of bushes and trees and everything. Got this trailer, they park it, no electricity, a generator. Got filled with gas, pull it like a lawnmower, start it, turn the lights on. A generator hooked up to it. And in the beginning, what happened was, because your grandmother was pregnant, me and Tyler, and I think it was me, Tyler, and Tracy, we had to go down there and get everything set up before the entire family came. Keep in mind, there's no cell phones at this time. There's no phones. There's no phones at all. They drop us down. I'm a freshman. Tyler's in junior high school. Tracy's a junior. He dropped out of school. So we go to this trailer in the middle talk about mountain lions, rattlesnakes, scorpions, you name it.
Wild.
We got flashlights, rifles, and guns. That's what they set us. Go set up camp. Get everything set up so when your mom has this baby, we're going to bring everybody here. So what we had to do is put this trailer up, go clear a clearance, like a property, flatten all the trees and everything, and get running water to the trailer. Literally, they would drop us off, no communication with no one in the world, because there's no houses, nothing. We're in the mountains. There's no one near us at all. We had a car to go get the water up and down the hill. And then a week and a half or 2 weeks later, my stepdad would roll up with some groceries. And so here you guys go, and take off and come back. And so we got everything set up, and that's how we did the trailer life. That lasted for my first year in high school. And then my first, actually, is the end of my junior high school year and the beginning of my senior year, my junior year, or freshman year, excuse me, in high school. So my first half of my high school year, I was there. Going to this ROTC program, they ended up feeling bad for me, and they gave me a first stripe, which means you're actually cool. Yeah, they just say, hey, they called me a slick sleeve. They go, hey, the slick sleeve, what do you guys, because everybody liked me, because by now I'm a comedian. Everybody likes me.
Yeah.
So they didn't end up giving me my first stripe. So I got my first stripe, and I became part of the group, started following the rules, and did great in high school, straight A student. Everything went well. Didn't have to kill nobody. I joked my way all the way through it. And by the end of my junior year, I became the highest ranking cadet officer in that program that's ever in history that I ever ranked in there. So, and I became a great public speaker, because the first 5-minute speech I've ever done, first time I ever spoke in front of somebody, I did so well. Typically you write like it's like 10 pages for a 5-minute speech. Mm-hmm. I never looked at the page ever. I just rattled it off. And so from that day forward, I felt really good with speaking in front of people. To this day, you could have me go talk about this in front of whoever. I'm going to do it. No problems. I'm not uncomfortable at all. So that was my all the way through high school chaos. Turned out good at the last 4 years. Everything else chaos.
That's pretty.
But it was a great learning experience, though. Like everything's a learning experience.
Yeah. So you said you're the highest ranking you could be, like possible in your high school class. So I know in ROTC because they still have that around.
Yeah.
I think it's like called JROT or
Junior ROTC.
Yeah, Junior ROTC. They have that now. I'm pretty sure most schools they have them like perform, do like the guns, the salutes, and everything at football games and stuff like that. But obviously you didn't go to the military, and I know that's what a lot of the kids they go to this class to prepare for like the military, the army or whatever, and they also get like credentials and stuff like that. So what happened with you? You didn't end up going to the military and stuff like that.
I actually got a scholarship for the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Got a 4-year all-inclusive scholarship. Paid for tuition, room and board, the whole thing. And the plan would normally be if you get that scholarship, you go there for 4 years, and then you go into the military and you go in as a second lieutenant. So right away you go as what's called an officer. During that summer, keep in mind I've come from a ghetto-ass, broke-ass family. I go to LA. I start meeting famous people, hanging out with celebrities, and I'm thinking, my whole life, I've never seen anybody rich. I've never seen anybody with money. I've never seen anybody with fame, only on TV. But now I'm hanging out at their house, some famous actors' houses. I'm like, wow. And these guys in my head are not as smart as me. What did they do? They just did that and they made $1 million? And I'm thinking, I can do that. So, and I had a great time. We're partying, having a blast. So
wait, how are you just like going to LA and meeting these people?
So I go to LA, I meet some friends, and by the way, so when I graduated from high school, I went every summer. Typically, would stay with my dad in Newport Beach. Mm-hmm. Go to the beach, hang out at the beach as a bunch of losers, and hang out at the beach every summer. So since my family lived in a trailer, there was no room for me to. I can't go live when I graduate from high school. I can't go move into the trailer in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So I had to find a place to stay. So I went and moved in with my dad right after high school. So I live with him. I get a little janky telemarketing. I had like 10 different telemarketing jobs trying to get some money. So one of my telemarketing jobs, I meet this guy who was a part-time actor. He was trying to get acting gigs here and there. So I'm going with him, trying to get acting gigs as well. So I'm going with him to his auditions, and sometimes he gets a small part, like he's the guy walking in the background across the street, getting paid $50 for whatever to do that. So I'd hang out with him. And so as I'm hanging out with him, when you're working on a set, everyone with the main stars, everybody, they all hang out. You eat lunch together, the lunch break, everybody goes and eats, and they have catered lunch, all that stuff. You're hanging out with some of the biggest actors in the world. At your table, like a little picnic table. So you're talking and the guy goes, hey, you want to come to my house later tonight? You're like, yeah, dude, hell yeah. So you go to the house and you're hanging out all night, partying until 4 a.m. to the next shoot the next day. So we were doing a lot of that, hanging out with famous people. So in my head, I'm thinking if they can do it, I can do it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I was having so much fun. School was cool, but it's not fun. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And that's what I started focusing on. I started focusing on, I'm going to be an actor, start making money, get in that world. And that's what I started hustling for.
Dang, that's crazy. You had a whole scholarship ready to go to the whole Air Force Academy and everything like that.
Yeah, I would have been bombing Ukraine right now. Flying my jet over there doing it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Take a break real quick. I'm going to go pee real quick.
We didn't even talk about the music yet.
30 minutes.
There's always multiple parts we could do. Yeah. I knew it was going to be like this. So I was like, hey.
2 hours.
Do one every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, once a month. Catch up. Last time on just make this a show. Just me and him. So then I'll just talk about getting into music and him being about learning about rap before it was even rap. And then and then how he started that, and then how he started his record label, and then we'll stop there. Because I have a lot of questions.
I got a good transition because we forgot to talk about why I was into this music. So,
Oh yeah, that's what.
ask me.
that's what
So,
I was about
so
to
where
ask
did the
you.
music where did the music come from though?
Three
Right
steps
here.
ahead of you. 3 steps ahead.
Okay,
of you.
cool.
All right, so yeah, I mean that's pretty crazy. You know, had the scholarship and stuff like that, and you said you were going into acting and wanted to make money off of that. But how did you end up like getting into like the whole music scene and everything like that?
So this is what's really weird. My whole life, like typically a dude that looks like me with my skin color, my look, and being a loser like I was, you think I would be into rock and roll. No. Me and my younger brother only listened to, at the time, it called it rap. Today they call it hip hop. We only listen to rap music. That's all we listened to. Nothing else. In fact, we would break dance, pop and lock. While we lived out at the trailer and go to the beach, we were those little dudes, people would call us wiggers back in the days. We were the dudes that rolled around with that gigantic ghetto blaster, little caps to the back, sweatsuits, Puma shoes with fat laces, and we had a portable cardboard box. And we would break dance. We would break dance, pop and lock, and battle with people. And we eventually started rapping.
So that's just like something you guys were always into is like rap.
Since rap first came into existence, they didn't have it on the radio. We'd have to get these rabbit ears, they call it. You get foil and long ass wires so you can get reception to a station called 1580 K-Day. It's the only station that played rap in the West Coast. And so we'd listen to rap music. We wanted to be rappers, and we started a rap group. It was called TNT Fresh. Tori and Tyler Fresh. And so, but that was our thing. I wasn't a good rapper, but my younger brother was an amazing rapper, freestyler, everything. He could rap all day. I was just, I'm a great dancer. I was at the time, I would dance good. I was more show than he was more rapping. So
Yeah.
he did a great job. In fact, during high school, we performed at my prom. Our group performed at my prom. We performed for the prom. So we got down. We did our thing. We weren't that great, but if you're two white dudes rapping in front of a bunch of white people, you're amazing to them. Especially during a time where they don't even know that music. You're like, to them, you're amazing. We weren't that great. We were just like, whatever. My brother was great. I wasn't. So
you said you guys started making music. Was it just like freestyles, or were you guys actually like recording stuff at that time?
So back in those days, you couldn't just go record unless you had $1 million studio.
Yeah.
There's no like load up the app. There was no app. There was no internet.
Yeah.
So literally what we did was like, there was this thing called the 4-track. And it was basically the first recording system that was for, people that had no money. It had 4 tracks. It's what the Beatles recorded their entire album off a 4-track recorder. So we would get beats or loops or breaks in records. Like in a break, like if you had a rock record that had doom, doom, doom,
Yeah.
you'd take that bar and you would loop it, and then you record your verse over the top of it. And we didn't have money to buy our microphone, but we did have a headphone. And if you notice, if you reverse a headphone, you put it in backwards and you turn the headphone around, you could use a headphone as a microphone. So you could reverse a headphone and turn it into a microphone, and we record our vocals through an actual headphone earmuff. And that's how we record our raps, through there. So it's kind of what we did, how we got out, just taking a little beat and breaking it down. So if you guys, back in the days, if you guys remember about the 4-track and the headphone thing, people that know, they would know that. But that's how we did it. And we grew up listening to people like UTFO, World Class Wrecking Crew, Roxanne, all those groups way back in the days. And so, that was our thing. There was just no other music for us. That's all we listened to.
Yeah. So, doing that little rap stuff in high school, performing and all that, how did that escalate to like fully like trying to take it as like a job, make music like for real, trying to get the studio, trying to get like a record label going?
Well, ultimately, like that was never my goal. Like I didn't go, hey, from here, I'm going to go do this. I was trying to get a job to pay my bills. So I was trying to make money. I was hustling, doing whatever stupid job I can do. I didn't care what it was. I would do the job. It never bothered me to work like I never worked as a janitor, but if you told me I had to work as a janitor, I wouldn't care. Whatever somebody said, hey, I'll pay you to do this, I would do it. No questions asked. But I got a job working at a company that is an acrylic nail company. and they manufactured acrylic nail products and they would sell this to the nail technicians that would make the acrylic pink and white nails. My friend said, hey, come get a job over here. Kind of like a telemarketer. But I said, yeah, I don't know. I'm not into the whole nail thing. If you know what I mean? Like it's a little zesty, if you know what I mean. So I was like, that's a little zesty for me, dog. And he's like, they ain't like that. Come here. And so at the time, I was paying, my rent was like $125 or $250 total a month. And I didn't have no money. So like, I need to make some money to pay this $250 because I'm like behind already. So they were going to pay me $100 a week to come in and just call people and ask them if they want to buy this product. So I went over there, started calling. I was making $100 a week. Pretty soon, I'm a hustler. I started figuring out how to make more money at this company. And I started hustling harder and harder. They let me work longer hours on the weekends because basically they said, if you work more hours, you get more money. So I worked all day, all night. I didn't have a car. I took the bus, got there at 6 a.m. So the manager would let me, literally I'd be sleeping on their doorstep and they let me in. Say, man, this guy, they would think I was a hard worker. The reality, I was just broke. And the only time I could get there was this time. And the only time I could leave was late. So I'd be there all day and all night because the bus schedule, I was an hour and a half away from on a bus to get there. So I was there every day. So they thought I was dedicated. And the reality, that's just what I had. So they eventually figured out, hey, you can work, do what you're going to do. They're proud of me for being there and working harder, making more money. I started making a lot of money. And I started studying on how to sell somebody the product that they were selling. The owner was a famous person that was known for doing acrylic nails in faster than 17 minutes. So in my head, I wanted to understand if that's the sales point. Like if I'm telling you the reason why you should buy this product, because you can do a full set of acrylic pink and white nails in under 17 minutes, I want to tell you how. I want to explain to you who don't know how to do a full set of nails in 17 minutes, pink and whites, how you can make $100,000 a year. I want to tell you how you can do that by buying my product. So I wrote a book on this company's product, and I started telling everybody at the company on how to explain each step. Basically, you can sell product through education. I mean, if I tell you how to make money on this product, you're going to buy it. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I wrote a book on doing this. The manager at the time happened to be the brother-in-law of the owner. This guy was a really creepy dude. Didn't want you to talk to the owner because he was really possessive, and he wanted to be the boss at all times. So one day, because I worked on Saturdays, and he didn't work on Saturdays, he never wanted you to talk to the boss because he didn't want you to tell the horrible things that he was doing to the employees to the boss. He was a total jerk. So one day I was working. He kept saying, if I ever catch you talking to the owner of the company, you're fired. He would tell all the employees that. What? He was that weirdo that did that. Crazy dude. Unbelievable crazy dude. So everybody hated him. So one day, Saturday, the owner would drop off their kids, ask me to watch her kids while she went shopping. So while I'm working, calling people, trying to make sales, I'm watching her kids. Hey, get off of that. Don't destroy that. Trying to handle all of this. So while she's doing all that, she's in the other office. She had an office right next to mine. It was a small, the business was real small. So she could hear me talking to people and explaining the products to them. She just opened the door one day. She's like, how do you know that? How do you know all that stuff? Because she had a video on how to do nails. So because I watched your video 100 times, I know how to do exactly what you're doing. She said, what? She goes, yeah. I go, in fact, I wrote a book for the salespeople. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, I go, present it to the manager, but the manager didn't want to show you, apparently. Not only did I write a book, I wrote a book that had indexes. If the person says no, flip to this channel. Boom. It has exactly what you tell them. If the person says, I have no money, you flip here. If the person says, I'm busy, you flip. I had all the objections in the book, and also I explained in detail the chemicals, why you use it, this and that. She was blown away. She took me literally, goes, come here. Took me to the manager. She goes, from now on, this guy sits right here. He's doing educational classes on Saturday. He's running the show. So I'm like, oh, I'm about to get fired now. This shit's about to go down now. It's over. So now she leaves. He screams at me. You're an idiot. I can't believe you went behind my back and you did this to me, all this stuff. So now I had to watch it because I needed the job. I needed to pay my bills. Yeah. So sure enough, I'm sitting up front and I'm doing these classes, and now she gets in an argument with her brother-in-law. And so him and I get in an argument over something she said to him about because I kind of snitched on him a little bit. I didn't mean to, but I did. He got in a lot of trouble. She started screaming at him. He comes over to me and goes, fuck you. But I had the voice. I had the speaker was recording. Like it was an open phone. I had my phone off the thing. When you do that, all the phones can hear what he says. He said everything that we wanted to tell the owner he was saying to people behind her back. He said it and everybody heard it, including her. She comes running down and screaming at him. Da-da-da. He gets fired. She goes, you're the manager. So I move upstairs with her and she comes in and she goes, what would make the job better and more effective? And I go, if we're on straight commission. Keep in mind, I'm making $200 a week. You get a bonus, 5% commission, over a certain amount of sales. She goes, how do you think straight commission? I go, because if you were to pay me 20% commission, I would double my money today. I go, but if you want to put it and raise my goal to be $1,000 more sales per week, I'll struggle harder to get the $1,000 more in sales to get that double money. And if you do that to everybody, everyone's going to do the same. Your sales go up. We all make more money. Everybody wins. She goes, If you can get more than 50% of the people to agree to that, meaning like, hey guys, I know you make $200 a week, but are you willing to make no money or double the money if you meet a goal? So everybody was split on this. Like, dude, come on. Yeah. So what I did, because it was so close, like 65-50, I said, look, if any of you don't meet your quota, I will pay you the $200 out of my money. I'm like, what? So you have nothing to lose. There's 3 of you who won't do this. If you don't meet your goal, because I got kids, I can't do this, I will pay you. And anybody else, I will pay you my money. Out of my money. I will make no money just so you can make money. I'm going to make double my money. I told him, I'm going to make double my money no matter what. So right now I'm making 200. I'm going to make 600 in the next week when we make this happen. Out of that 600, I have 400 to give away. So I could cover 2 of you guys. And everybody looked at me like, okay. So we did it. And a couple people didn't do it the first couple of weeks, but everyone doubled their money. So pretty soon I started making $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week, started killing the game. And then I started going around the country and then the world because I created a seminar on how to do acrylic nails and make over $50,000 on a part-time job. So I started flying to every city around the country, teaching people that are buying our product how to do these nails and make $50,000 and then make $100,000 retailing product. And then I went to all over the world too. I went to London, Japan, all this stuff. And translators started becoming like this poster boy in that business. Started hustling, trying to make money, Everything's a hustle. So
for some zesty nails.
For some job I didn't even really want at all. But which led me to be able to afford, I was making like $300,000 a year, early, young, had an apartment in Laguna Beach, big ass 1,600 square foot apartment, balling for my age, but to me, I didn't look at it like I was balling, I was making money.
It's the podcast with a Prodigy. It's the podcast with a Prodigy. It's the podcast with a Prodigy.